You don't cry because you're weak. You cry because something inside you refuses to go numb. And in a world that rewards emotional silence, that makes you dangerous. You've noticed it, haven't you? How quickly it happens. A conversation turns slightly heavy. A memory brushes past. Song hits one note too deep, and suddenly, your eyes betray you. You try to hold it in. You always try to hold it in because somewhere along the way you learned that crying that makes people uncomfortable. So you apologize. You look away. You shrink just a little, not because you're overwhelmed, but because you feel exposed. But what if you've misunderstood what's happening? What if your tears aren't a loss of control, but a signal of something most people have already lost? Because here's the part no one tells you. People who cry easily aren't necessarily more fragile. They're more permeable, less filtered, less armored. And in psychology, that matters more than strength ever could. Carl Jung once suggested that what we repress doesn't disappear. It waits. It waits beneath the surface, shaping behavior quietly, invisibly. Most people build walls to keep that material buried, but you don't have walls, you have doors. And sometimes they open without asking permission. There's a reason your system works this way. Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It's responding exactly as it was designed to. Emotions are meant to move. They're not meant to be stored like old furniture in a locked room. But many people learned early on that expression was unsafe. So they adapted, they suppressed, they intellectualized, they disconnected. Over time, this creates what looks like emotional stability, but is often just emotional distance. You went a different direction, whether through temperament, upbringing, or subtle experiences that taught you it was okay to feel. Your nervous system stayed open, responsive, alive. In Stoic philosophy, there's a quiet distinction most people miss. It's not about eliminating emotion. It's about not being ruled by unconscious reaction. But suppression isn't mastery. It's avoidance wearing discipline as a disguise. And what you experience isn't weakness, it's contact. There's something almost ancient about the way you feel. Like your emotions are closer to the surface of existence, as if your mind never fully agreed to separate from your body. You don't just understand things, you absorb them. Other people can witness a moment. You enter it. And that's why it overwhelms you sometimes. Because you're not observing life from a distance, you're inside it, fully. But there's a cost to that. You notice shifts others ignore. Subtle tension in a voice. A pause that carries meaning. A look that says more than words ever could. Your system processes layers most people never register. So when emotion comes, it comes with weight, with depth, with accumulated meaning. And your tears, they're not random. They're release valves for everything you've been holding, consciously or not. Not because you're fragile, but because you haven't learned how to become insensitive. And maybe you were never meant to. Here's the part that changes everything. You don't cry too easily. You feel too honestly. The world teaches people to mute themselves, to dilute emotion until it becomes socially acceptable. But you stayed closer to something real. And yes, it makes life harder in certain rooms, in certain conversations, around certain people who don't understand. But it also means this: you haven't lost your ability to respond to life, to be moved, to be affected, to care. And that's rarer than you think, because most people aren't strong, they're numb. Your tears aren't proof that something is wrong with you, they're proof that something is still working. Something that refuses to let you become indifferent. Something that insists on truth, even when it spills out in ways you can't control. So maybe the goal isn't to stop crying. Maybe it's to understand what your tears are trying to say before you silence them. You don't need to fix this tonight. You don't need to become harder or quieter or less. Just notice it. The next time your eyes fill, don't rush to shut it down, pause, and ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now that I haven't been allowed to feel? Because that answer is where you'll find yourself again. If this felt like you, comment "I feel too deeply" below